in the interview with rock bottom Michael Kiske. Yeah, he's...
Sounds almost like my management.
That's it. And you will release a new album, City of Heroes, with your colleague Amanda Somerville for the project Kiske Somerville. Before we talk about it, please explain how did this project come together?
I think it started, if I remember it right, in 2008. Before I had my own band, Unisonic. By that time, I was basically just here and there, being part in projects. And Serafino had a few interesting offers over the years that I thought were very interesting. One was Place Vendôme, which made a few nice records, and it also made me get in touch with Dennis Ward, who's now like a major force in Unisonic as producer, bass player, songwriter, and stuff. You know, so that was good on that one. And Kiske Somerville was one of the same kind of thing. He just once asked me if I would be interested in singing on a record, in a full record in duet with a female vocalist, and I thought that was interesting. And at the beginning, it was supposed to be someone else. Can't remember the name. It was also a lady quite known in I think in the gothic music scene or whatever. But her band didn't like the idea. Mm-hmm. They didn't think they thought she shouldn't do it. So that's when Amanda came, and I think I'm pretty happy that it happened that way. Because I like her. You know?
Yeah, it's good, and it's your second album. I guess it's called City of Heroes. Is it a concept story? Would you say it?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm not sure. You would have to ask the main songwriters. I think I'm pretty sure it deals with what you can do having a boy and a girl vocalizing on a record. You know, it's probably being about love, disappointment, drama, relationship dramas, and things like that. I think this that'll be the main subject. I'm pretty sure on the album.
And yeah, you have given the name. It's half of the band name is your name, but you weren't credited as a songwriter. So what's the reason that you don't appear as a songwriter on this album or in this project?
I'm not mainly a songwriter. I do write my own songs here and there, but I don't write a lot of songs. Sometimes I have an idea and see where it goes, and then I suggest it to the band, Unisonic. But I'm not like Dennis, who can sit down for a number of weeks and then writes a whole record. I can't do that. You know, it's just not happening. So I save my own material for Unisonic, and it's not necessary anyway, because I think Matt and Magnus, they're great songwriters, and they wrote the stuff with me and Amanda in mind, and it works great. You know, I'm sure they would be okay with it if I would have had like a song or two songs or whatever and suggested them. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be against it or whatever, but I didn't even try it because. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to write songs for it.
And is it easy to interpret the songs of other guys?
Yeah, of course. I mean, as a singer of a band, you do that anyway all the time. I mean, in Halloween, I had a few of my own songs in there too on every record, but mainly I was singing material from Wycliffe and Kai. That's just very normal, and it doesn't really matter. Both has its own quality, I would say. If you sing your own songs, it's very intimate to a certain extent. It's very you, but you learn other things when you try to make a song of someone else your own. I really like both. Never had a problem with it. And any singer who is part of a band that is creative sings material of the other band members.
Of course, yeah. And yeah, is it easier or was it easier to record the new album than the very first one, because each one know each other, or was it no difference to the first one?
I mean, the process. I don't think the process of the making of the album, I don't think it was much different. But I think it was much easier because I am much more relaxed, and I have been touring a few times around the world with Avantasia and Unisonic and stuff, and I'm more back in the game now. When you see the video on the Kiske Somerville record, for the Kiske Somerville record, you see me sitting on a box because I was just refusing to move and pose around and things like that. I don't like to do that anyway on videos. That's what I hate videos. On stage, you're singing, it's real, and like on a video shoot, there's always some kind of a acting drama going on. But it's I was pretty stiff. It was when I did those videos, I hadn't been doing anything for years, for almost 17 years. No live performances, no video shoots. I did one video shoot in New York for my first solo record. Always, that's the only thing. But I was just walking around across the streets and things like that. It was not really like a classical video shoot. So that, I mean, a lot of things have changed. But you can hear that anyway. You can hear that on new Unisonic records as much as on anything that I record now, you know.
And yeah, it is more symphonic rock, I guess. In my opinion, it is. It sounds a little bit like a rock opera from the whole design of the music. So it's a different kind of singing in this project than, for example, singing in Unisonic or any other metal band.
Every song is different, but it's not. It doesn't really. The difference is not that you sing for this or that. Every song has its own kind of challenge, and I find it very interesting to make a song my own, and to. Usually, it starts with going through the lyrics, learning the melody, and giving it a try, and then you figure out what sounds most convincing. You know, you can go rough, but I mean, many people, especially in the hard rock type of music, think louder is better. It's not true. Sometimes I did a performance for a song and I was like singing very rough and whatever, and it just didn't convince me. Somehow it sounded not right, and then I took it back a notch and sang it more relaxed, and then it had potential. It's like, and that's something I find very interesting to figure out for each song.
Of course. And your voice sounds still marvelous. You can't hear any difference to the beginnings. I guess maybe it went better.
Yeah, I think I'm sounding better because I'm not a teenager anymore, you know.
And how did you have realized this? Because normally the voice is getting worse, but in your case it went up. So what is your recipe for holding this great voice over all the years?
I think, first of all, I never toured myself to death. Might have helped, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be a different situation if I would never have left Halloween and we would have done tours and stuff like that, because I love singing and I work with the voice. I work with the changes of the voice, you know. And as long as you do that and you don't start to freak out about things, you know, singers love to do that. You know, something goes wrong on a tour, I'm less and less like that. I had my phases where I was like that too. It was like you have a sore throat or whatever, and you, how's it going to be tonight or whatever. You have to get over these things, because I think 80% of the problems that singers have
are in the head. Oh, yeah, interesting.
Because the head controls everything, you know, and the heart, of course. And if you're scared of doing something, if you believe you can't do it, you can't.
Of course. The self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Mental strength is needed for singing.
Perfect. And did you record the album in your own studio? Did each musician contribute his part in each studio and in his own studio, or did you work as a band together with Kiske Somerville?
Kiske Somerville is not really a band, so in Unisonic we do that. In Unisonic we really play this stuff as a band and work it out and stuff like that, which is very important. But for Kiske Somerville, I was doing the recordings in my own place. I don't know about the others. That they might have actually met up in the studio and done it, but I can't really tell you.
And will there be a tour with Kiske Somerville?
Well, I think Amanda would love to do that, but since I have my own band now, I don't want to overdo the touring, you know. So it's like I like to keep it as a record production project as it started. You know, when we did the first record 5 years ago, we released it and we did a few interviews and stuff, and we did 2 videos, and that was it. There was no real band coming out of it, you know. So in the meantime, I made my own band with you know, as Unisonic now, and I'm not a solo artist anymore, so I got to be careful. I don't want to do too much, you know.
Nowadays, what you prefer more, playing in Unisonic or Wyndham Place or Avantasia or Kiske Somerville? What's your most favorite band or project, however you will call it?
Unisonic, of course, because that's a real band, you know. It's always the most fun. But I really also love Avantasia. Amanda is also part of that, because it's to me it's really in the end just paid holidays, you know. You just sing a few songs on stage, travel the world, and you can also tour on a very high level. So it's like nice hotels, you fly and stuff like that, and it's always fun, you know.
Oh, you make me envious.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I mean, these 2 bands are my favorites, and the other stuff I love to do as well, but we don't play live with them, you know. So it's just record productions.
And will you have some concerts or further tours with Unisonic this year, or is it just a festival thing?
This year we mainly concentrate on new material, songwriting, getting ideas together. But we play a few festivals. We play this month, end of the month we play in Brazil, like a big festival there, with great bands like Judas Priest, Kiss, Accept's going to be there. It's like it's an interesting festival, a nice lineup. And I think there's 1 or 2 more like that somehow. But mainly we want to write a new record, and hopefully we will be able to release it in April, May next year.
Oh yeah, that's interesting as well. And yeah, this album Kiske Somerville, what are your favorite tracks on it? My favorites are City of Heroes, the title track, Walk on Water, and Salvation. How would you see it?
I haven't got the CD yet, so I haven't really heard it a lot now in whole, like as a whole record. But my favorite is definitely Walk on Water. It's just a great tune. It's just a great song. And I also like the only song that Amanda and her husband wrote for it. And that was Breaking Neptune. I also thought that was kind of cool.
Wow.
At least singing it was fun, you know. It's when you listen to the record when it's done, it's always different. I haven't really done that yet. You probably know the record better than I do.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. And yes, and yeah, you became a star in Halloween in early stages of your life in the mid-80s. So was it a positive thing to get a star in this early stage, or was it maybe a problem for you getting so well known at an early stage of your life?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't think that it was negative in any way, because I think it's healthy for a young person to be able to travel the world and meet people everywhere and be able to do what you like and love to do, and make a living out of it is awesome, you know. I never was in danger to fall in this trap of that some young people that get successful fall into, that they think that they're God or whatever, you know, that they kind of lose ground. Because the way I look at life, my life philosophy kind of protects me from it, because I just don't believe in these kind of things. I don't believe that money makes you better than people without money, or status or whatever, or being on a stage or having a funny face on magazines or whatever doesn't make you better than people in the audience or someone who's working in a bank or somewhere. The differences between us are here.
In your heart.
Exactly. That's where we are different, but not these kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a very grounded person, and that's nice to see, nice to hear. So how is your relationship to former Halloween bandmates today?
Oh, I think it's getting better. it was kind of intense for a while, but I kind of grew out of the anger, and I met them all, like like Wyckoff, Marcus, and that's pretty much the only two guys of that time really. Kai's in my band now, and Ingo is dead. In 2012, no, 13. I think that's where I met him. It was Sweden Rock. Mm-hmm. I played there with Avantasia. I think we were headlining even. I'm not sure. And we had the dressing room next to each other. Coincidence.
Oh, coincidence, yeah.
No, that was okay. Wyckoff was very nice, and I found it very interesting that there was no anger in me. I was just very relaxed, and that's why I thought it was a good thing that this happened, because actually at the moment I'm just in a peace mode, you know. I just want to bury that shit.
And you have mentioned a few years ago. You mentioned critical things about the heavy metal scene. You were critical about some developments and some aspects of the metal scene, and you had a break, I guess, for about 17 years. You didn't play live. So how is your impression of the hard rock and heavy metal scene today?
I see the differences now. I mean, there's still the crap that I love to hate, which is everything that tries to tell young people that being an asshole, having no heart, you know, being evil means being strong and having personality. It's just so stupid that I just can't.
Come so on.
No danger. Don't.
No, I started with falling in love with this music scene at the age of, with this type of music, like guitar oriented rock music. I started to get excited about it at the age of 14. Yeah, you should leave that in, because I think that's
these are the young people who making
just surrounded by young people and girls. She was actually nice looking. But the thing is, I started to get excited about this type of music when I was about 14, with bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Queensryche, Metallica, and Queen. And that went on actually my whole life. But at the same time, I was always also listening to other stuff. I was never like. But when I got older, and a lot of bad experiences I went through, there also were in addition to that. But it's like I will always have huge problems with the idealizing of inhumanity, the idealizing of evil as something good. If you know, I have this theory that people who are weak in their hearts have just a very small light there. Mm-hmm. They can't be strong as humans, so they try to be strong as the opposite to it, as inhumans or whatever.
Of course.
I'm impressed by that. But the thing is, I just because of I'm hating things in that music scene, and doesn't mean that I have to hate what I like about it. You know, the specific bands that I grew up with, and I see the differences now, because like they're a whole bunch of also great people there, and I love most of the fans.
And for example, if you see the metal scene, it's hard to say which bands are evil. For example, Black Sabbath, some black metal bands refer on Black Sabbath. Would you say, for example, Black Sabbath or maybe Judas Priest, they are evil? What would you say? Are they evil?
They have certain lyrics. I mean, the name. I mean, Judas Priest have had their phases. I mean, they had very rock and roll records, which are my favorite records, like "Screaming for Vengeance," "Hellbent for Leather," or British Steel. Those were like rock and roll records. Like on the lyrics, you know, they're not really. And then they had phases where they trying to be evil and stuff like that. Which are not my favorite then anymore, but it's vielschichtig.
Diverse.
Yeah, it's very diverse. There's a lot going on in that scene, you know. And some people call bands metal that in my world are just rock bands, and some of those people who love like the hardest music on earth will call some clear metal bands pop because for their ears, you know, it's sounding soft or whatever. It's all just crap in the end, you know. It's all just guitar music in the end.
Yeah, it is.
But it matters what kind of a message you send out, you know, and that's what matters to me. Music is not evil because it's loud. It's not evil because it has electric guitars in it. But you know, when you tell people just be selfish, you know, and to be an arrogant, selfish idiot doesn't give you personality. A strong personality can give. A strong personality is able to be totally selfless. That's strength. Only if you're weak, you want to protect yourself from everybody, and you know, become this little ego. And these twisted around pseudo ideals is something I just hate about certain things in the metal scene, and that'll never change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good opinion, and you can take what you have said to other aspects of life as well. Business,
absolutely, it's not just a problem of that.
Hard rock or heavy metal and all these things. I guess you were about 17 years. You weren't on tour, if I'm rightly informed. So was it intentional, or did you say, all right, I don't want to do?
Yeah, I didn't wanna. I had offers.
Yeah, that's what my idea.
When I did the Past in a Different Way record, which I thought turned out quite nice, but there's acoustic versions of my songs that I did for Halloween. They wanted me to do an acoustic tour through South America, but I didn't want to do it. And the same thing is, I was part of the very first record of Avantasia. You know, Toby had this idea of doing this kind of opera with all the people that he enjoyed in his life and thought were cool. He was trying to get them in, and then he did. After that record got very successful, he wanted to tour, and he offered me a lot of money to do that, but I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't ready. It just needed a lot of time for me to. It's like when it came to 2000, 2002, 2003, that's when I kind of opened up more again, you know. I was just pissed. I was just so fed up with everything.
Oh yeah, and now you have got other projects.
I'm totally relaxed. It's almost scary.
And yeah, that's a good aspect. And yeah, you have dealt with other topics as well, for example, spirituality and the lectures of Rudolf Steiner, anthroposophy. Mm-hmm. So how did you come to these topics? How did you come to these writers and ideas?
It was always part of me. Even though my family was very nice people, very materialistic, and just not caring about anything. Why, where do we come from, where do we go to? But it was always part of me. It's like it started already when I was 14, that I was getting myself the Bible and reading it, didn't understand much. And later on, it was more going to into the philosophical direction. I read most of the great German philosophers. Beautiful stuff among that. But like the early 20s, I was still studying those a lot. And through that angle, I came to Rudolf Steiner by the philosophy of freedom. Which I think defines the dignity of humanity. Describes, what's the word? It defines. That's the word. Defines the dignity of humanity in the only possible way, in my opinion. So it's like an extremely important book that should have shaken the earth.
Yeah, it's good, and I know these ideas as well. So I read that you were a plumber one day in your early stages of your life. Is it right? Plumber and Schlosser.
Oh yeah, when I got out of school.
Yeah, when you came out of school.
When I got out of school, that was funny. Yeah, it's good.
You did an internship or an apprenticeship as a plumber.
Yeah, it happened that way. I mean, I just wanted to make music, but you know how your parents are. Oh, you can make music on the weekend, you know, but you'll learn something. So it's like I got out of school and I didn't care about anything else but music, and I just wanted to have a band, and you know, I had my own school band by that time. And my mother, she just said, it was someone that we know, like a relative, you asked him if you can get the job, and of course I got the job. And then I started like for like 6 months or something. It was like a Gewächshausbau. I don't know what the English term for it is.
Yeah.
It's like, was heißt noch Treibhaus? Gewächshaus. Doesn't matter. Where plants grow in these houses, these kind of stuff we were building. But actually, Halloween saved me. You know, that offer came up, and I just took it and canceled everything, and the rest is history.
So you did not regret getting a professional musician?
Nah, I wanted to do that anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else in my head. I only did it because my mother forced me to.
But your mother wasn't angry about it, or
no, she was fine because I had to contribute to the wages, like to the salary of the apartment, and as long as I could do that, she was okay, and I was able to do that with Halloween because the first record sold right away 1 million, you know.
Yeah,
and so on.
Yeah, that's a good thing to hear, and yeah, it's a good thing that you did such a good career, and yet you're still a very grounded person.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of those things that as I said, it was always part of me to have a spiritual kind of look at life, and that makes it impossible really to evaluate people by their status or money or whatever. I do see the differences in humans. I don't think we're all the same. You know, some people have a big heart and are beautiful, and others are not, and there's everything in between. You know, it's a big difference, but it hasn't got anything to do with the money you make, or how pretty you are, or how tall you are, or what country you live, or your skin color, or things like that. You know, that's just surface.
Yeah, good to know. Do you have further information that you will bring to your listeners by my new album or some kind like that?
Well, basically, we don't play that much this year with Unisonic. So if anyone lives close to some of the festivals, we might. But it's not many. It's just, probably just 3 or something like that the whole year that we're going to do. So if anyone is living nearby, just show up. You know.
Okay.
That's the message.
Okay. Thank you for this nice interview, and have a great success.